Hello and welcome to another blog edition, and today I want to talk to you about herbs and spices, mostly herbs, and they're high in phytonutrients in general, and some have special ingredients. I'm going to be talking about polyphenols. So what are polyphenols? Polyphenols are antioxidants that you find in plants that have been shown to decrease inflammation. They've been shown to decrease inflammation in the heart so that they decrease your risk of cardiovascular disease. They've also been shown to decrease inflammation in the brain, so to prevent dementia and Alzheimer's. They've been also shown to decrease inflammation in joints and to decrease your risk of osteoporosis. Think of them as those plant-friendly substances that decrease inflammation and make our body and our organs much healthier in general. For example, I'm standing right next to my oregano bush. It's a big bush. Oregano tends to grow really well here. And what's great about oregano? Well, aside from its flavor, right, and adding it to food, I love to add it especially to fish, for example. It is also antibacterial, it's antiparasitic, it has vitamin K, manganese, calcium, and it's a great source of fiber. Who knew? Oregano actually has fiber in it. It's pretty amazing. It's also very aromatic. The essential oil of oregano can be used to treat bacterial infections, even staphylococcus, or the staph that has been known to be resistant to multiple antibiotics. Let's move on the path and let's see what comes up next. So here I have several different herbs, one of which is calamintha. Calamintha is also rich in a lot of phytonutrients. It's great in a tea. The aroma is just pretty amazing. There is really nothing else like it. And calamintha is not very well known in the States, but it's very well known in the Azores Islands. It is also rich in fiber. I just talked about oregano, and that was rich in fiber. It has vitamin C. It has amazingly carminative properties, and it works also as a cholagogue, which means it helps your digestion by helping the digestive juices or increasing the digestive juices. I just love thyme, and one of the reasons is because there are so many different varieties of thyme. But the other thing about thyme is that it is a great flavor. It is also antibacterial. You can add it to your salads, for example. I like putting it on top of my steamed fingerling potatoes, for example. So let's keep on moving, and next, amidst all the noise of my rooster and the neighbor's dog, we're going to rue. This is rue. Sometimes the leaves can be a little bit bigger, but in any case, you can use it in a tea. It does have a pretty pungent type of odor. Rue is antispasmodic. However, you do need to be careful with it, as large amounts can also be hepatotoxic, and it can cause gastric upset. My rue is growing next to my beautiful flowers, which are edible. These are flowers that I love to put in salad, although not a spice, just thought I would add that. I just wanted to show you something here. Although these are not necessarily an herb, they're flowers, I wanted to mention how amazing they are and how they're also full of carotenoids, and they're edible. You can just take your petal, take out its little pieces, and eat them put them in your salad and eat them. Enjoy. Next, I want to focus on something that we call fennel. Now, fennel usually in the States has a large stalk. This is not that type of fennel, although it does have a little bit of a stalk, but nothing like what you would normally see in the fennel that you find that has that big bulb. So this we use mostly the leaves, and it's great in a soup or in a salad. And fennel has lots of phytonutrients as well. Now, fennel seeds are also great. They can be used in a tea. They're very good for colic. You can even use them in infants that have a lot of colic, and in general for spasms of the abdomen. Move on to my rosemary bush. I just love rosemary. It is so aromatic. You can use it as a spice. You can add it to your food, for example. You can use it dried or green. It is also antibacterial, and especially when you're using the essential oils. One other thing I wanted to mention about rosemary is that it's easily grown. You can just snip off a branch of it and grow. Now usually I like to have a branch that branches off like this right here, for example. So you can just snip this off, put it in water, and then stick it in. You don't even have to put it in water. You could put it directly in dirt. Stick it up to here so that it can sprout, and you'll grow a whole new bush. I grew this bush right here from a little branch like this one. A couple more things about rosemary is that it's great for memory. It also improves digestion and joint pain, like patients who have arthritis or arthralgias. It's great for hair loss. You want to make a tea from the rosemary and then basically wash your hair with it after you shampooed. And the important thing is that you leave it on at least for 24 hours. Let's move on to my cilantro. I just love cilantro. You can see that some of it's starting to flower. You can use the flowers in salads, for example. I love these nice green leaves and putting it in salad. What's so amazing about cilantro is that it is actually a way that you can get rid of heavy metals from your system, particularly mercury. Although you do want to make sure you're also taking high amounts of vitamin C so you have no damage to your kidneys if you're excreting large amounts of heavy metals and in particular mercury. Now, something about cilantro, it quickly goes to seed, so when you plant it, you have to continue to replant it pretty often, because otherwise you'll be eating mostly the seeds, which you can also use, by the way, and they're very flavorful. But I just love these nice little green shoots and being able to add them to my salad or to my stir-fried vegetables, you name it. And not forgetting, of course, the fact that cilantro is one of the things that I love putting in guacamole. Next, I want to talk to you about parsley. Now, this parsley is starting to go into seed, and I usually like saving the seeds and spreading them around. But parsley is amazing. It's great for cleaning your liver. It is tasteful. You can add it to just about anything. I like eating it raw as well as cooked. There are many different types, or I should say varieties, of parsley. The amazing thing about parsley, aside from the fact that it's rich in vitamin C and has lots of phytonutrients, is that it will grow almost anywhere. Here, it's growing next to my flowers, so it's actually growing in my garden. You can also grow it on your windowsill, and it is, as I mentioned, it is great both raw as well as cooked, but I especially like it in a tea. And remember that you can grow it just about anywhere. Next, I want to talk to you about mint. This is like our common mint that we have here. It is very aromatic. I wish you actually were here just to be able to smell how rich it smells. We like putting it on soups, basically just adding it at the end of a soup. It gives you a nice little different flavor. I also love making a tea. Just last night I picked a few leaves just like this, brought water to a boil. And once it's boiling, you just turn it off and you let it steep for about 10 minutes. The nice thing about it is it's great as an antispasmodic, so for abdominal pain, it helps digestion. It is again rich with carotenoids and phytonutrients, and it can also be added to your salads, but as I mentioned earlier, you can cook it. I love just chopping it up and mixing it with my stir-fried or steamed vegetables. Now, there's many different varieties of mint. This is a more common one here. It's more like of a type of a spearmint, but I really haven't found the equivalent in the United States that I could tell you for sure exactly which variety it is. It's just a common one that grows here, even without necessarily being cultivated. To a different part of the garden now, and I wanted to show you a couple of my other sort of herbs and spices. Now, here's one that you don't particularly think of it necessarily as an herb, and I'm talking about lavender. But lavender is great smelling. You can use its seeds and flowers, for example, in your salads. You can make a lavender oil, which is very anti-inflammatory. But I like also just being able to brush up against it and really feel and smell the little buds. They are just amazing. There's many different varieties. Some will be more aromatic than others. Lavender is also said to bring positive energy and sort of cleanse the energy of any space that is in. To my Melissa bush, which I actually have several, but this is probably the nicer one. I also have one in a pot. And Melissa is pretty amazing because it is a calmative herb. So the tea made from Melissa is very soothing. It's actually believed to be an adaptogen. It helps your hypothalamic pituitary adrenal axis, helps you relax. In some studies, has been found to possibly increase the neurotransmitter GABA, which makes you relax. So if you're anxious or nervous, a tea from its leaves is great. I usually will take like a couple snippets and make about a liter of tea. From that, you can make it more concentrated. It's great to drink right before you're going to bed, really, or before you're meditating. Really helps you kind of get in the zone and relax. Here's another example of Melissa bush. Thing I wanted to mention about Melissa is it can pretty much take over your whole garden. For that reason, I prefer to use it in a pot. I love growing things in pots. So this is right in front of my door, or I should say on the side of my door, and I have quite a few different things in here. I have flowers, but in addition I have some oregano, and I have some thyme, as you can see, those there. Eventually it may be too big to put in here, but I love just adding it. And of course I have a spider plant. They're great for filtering out the air. So I enjoy just putting multiple things in potted plants. And it looks very appealing, and it's also easy to grab. So I can easily just come out here and take a snippet and use it in my cooking. So I hope you really enjoyed this walk through my garden, if you will. I just wish you could really smell and feel all the different herbs because there's such energy that emanates from them. But what I really want you to consider after listening to this is whenever you sit down to have your meal, make sure you're adding herbs and spices to your salads, to your steamed vegetables, to your soups, you name it. You want to add more of these phytonutrients because you want those rich polyphenols. They're going to decrease inflammation. And I think in general in the United States, we tend to eat a pretty bland diet. We're not used to a lot of different flavors. So go and experiment. Use your oregano. Use thyme. Remember, there's many different types of thyme. This is more of a lemon thyme. But there's about 8 different varieties that I know of. And don't forget about parsley, as well as your cilantro and your rosemary. Add those to your salads. Basil, which I love, but I couldn't show you that. But make sure that you consider adding that to whatever it is that you're eating. And if you think about just how and the anti-inflammatory effect it's going to have on your body, it will make it even more synergistic. In other words, it will make that effect even stronger. Just the fact that you're thinking about it while you're ingesting it. Be well, enjoy, and many blessings.